Welcome to Sense of Style. I'm Stuart. 8 fragrances that do it all. These fragrances never miss. If you've watched my channel for any length of time, you'll know that I really love both oud and iris. And I think a lot of other people really like oud or iris. However, there's a fair number of people that don't like either oud or iris. It's kind of hit and miss with that. And even with some sweet fragrances, it's the same thing. But everybody wants to be next to someone who smells fresh and clean. If you are in a situation where you absolutely, positively can't afford to take any risks, you want to smell as good as you possibly can and appeal to the largest number of people, you want to wear a fresh and clean fragrance. You cannot miss with those fragrances. They do it all because even in the winter, you still want to smell fresh and clean. Fragrance number 1. This is Bleu de Chanel Eau de Toilette. Now, I am not affiliated with or associated with Chanel in any way, shape, or form. I am just a fragrance enthusiast talking to other fragrance enthusiasts about fragrances. But I'm going to say a lot of really nice things about this today because I honestly believe this is the one fragrance on the market that completely does it all. If money is no object, this is what you want to wear, where you absolutely want to guarantee at least appealing to the other person, because I don't even like the EDP over this. The EDP has a little bit of amber in it, and that's not going to work in a situation where it's really hot out. That amber is going to get a little bit sweeter. It's going to get a little bit cloying. I don't want to take any chances. You're going to smell fresh and clean in the winter, in the summer, all year round if you wear the Eau de Toilette. The thing that I like about the Eau de Toilette so much is that it's just a little bit better quality. Just a smidgen, but you do notice it. It's a little bit better quality than other fresh fragrances that I've tried. It's that little bit of sophistication. I don't know whether it's the ginger or whether it's the incense. I don't know what it is, but it just smells a little bit better, a little bit higher quality. The performance is really good. It lasts a long time. It projects, perfectly. I think this one never misses. Fragrance number 2. This is Armani Acqua di Gio Profondo. And this is not the number 1 selling Acqua di Gio on the market. That would be the original. It's not even the most popular Acqua di Gio in the fragrance community. It's probably Profumo or the new Parfum. But it is my favorite. So there are a lot of C notes in this. 2 different kinds of C notes. There's mandarin and bergamot, so there's some citrus. Then there are some aromatic notes as well. I think there's 4 of them. But why I like this the best is it is the smoothest, and it's the mineral notes. It just smooths out all the rough edges of Profondo. It makes it a very smooth wear, smoother to me than Profumo. I think I do prefer it to even Profumo. And I'm not a huge fan of mineral notes. I don't like Ganymede at all because it's got way too many. Mineral notes are only work if you use them with the right amount. But I think what they did here was perfect. They took a whole bunch of other things and they just kind of added the mineral notes at the end to smooth everything. It's fantastic. Fragrance number 3, this is Versace Dylan Blue. And if the average person walked up to me on the street, the average guy, and said, okay, what do I recommend? What fragrance does it all for men? If money is an object, I'm going with Dylan Blue. This is a $60 fragrance that works in all situations. It's given me more compliments than I've gotten with any other fragrance. And I've actually had people do that. I had 2 people come up to me and say, look, not just, oh, what do you recommend? But they literally said, I am going to buy a fragrance. What should I buy? And in both cases, I said Dylan Blue. Now, one of the people, 23-year-old girl, wanted to get a Christmas present. She ended up buying Eros. It had a nicer bottle. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, my best friend, he listened. He bought Dylan Blue. I will always recommend it because it works in a whole bunch of different situations. The price is right. So it's the Dior Sauvage DNA with black pepper and ambroxan. There's a lot of citrus in there too. It's bergamot. And then you've got the incense note. It makes it a little bit darker than Sauvage. It's not as powerful as Sauvage, but it's still plenty strong. I just think it works in almost every situation. And when you factor in the price, it's a great buy. Fragrance number 4 is a fragrance that I forget about more than any other fragrance in my collection because I think it's a high quality fragrance, but I haven't talked about it in ages. It's Montblanc Explorer. And I think this fragrance is really good for doing it all. I've tried 5 different clones of Creed Aventus, and of the 5, this one's not the strongest. It's not the most popular, but for me anyway, it is the highest quality Aventus clone that I've tried. Now, they don't use pineapple in, I was going to say grapefruit. They don't use pineapple. They use a juicy bergamot to try and recreate the pineapple. There is no birch in this. They use 3 different types of woody notes, including a woody aroma chemical to try and recreate the smokiness of the birch. And instead of ambergris, they use ambroxan. But it definitely smells like Aventus, albeit a more muted version. Now, the reason I don't talk about it might have to do with the fact that I would say for the first year, and I can't explain it. I really can't. The first year I wore this, I hardly noticed it when I put it on my skin. I don't know whether the bottles had a chance to macerate. I don't know whether my nose has gotten better, but it's fine now. I can totally notice it. But I have heard that about other people where there has been performance issues. Most people, it performs fine. I had some issues. I don't anymore. I think it's a great fragrance. I think it smells like Aventus, but not the full explosive version of it. Fragrance number 5, this is Versace's Man Eau Fraiche. And there are more bottles of this fresh fragrance sold than any other fresh fragrance on the market. Other fresh fragrances can make more money, but because this is relatively inexpensive, this is the one that sold the most bottles. For the moment, for $50 for full presentation, for 100 milliliters of this, a tester goes for $40. And it's really successful for one very simple reason. There's lemon and bergamot, so there's a citrus component, but then there is a star fruit note, which is a sour fruit. And that mixes with the tarragon and the sage to give it a little bit of a sour kick that you can pick up. And it's one of those fragrances where if you did this head-to-head with most other citrus fragrances, the sour usually is going to win. It really is a little bit more appealing. It's not a massive difference, but you can pick it up. Most people really notice it. Performance here is pretty average. There's nothing spectacular about it, but that sour fruit note really works. And in terms of bottles sold, yeah, I mean, this one will work in a lot of situations. Fragrance number 6. This is Montblanc Starwalker. And if money is a really big deal, like if you really want to buy a fragrance, you want it to work in all situations, you want it to be fresh, this is the baseline. This is as low as you go without, compromising performance or quality. So there are fragrances cheaper than this or fragrances lower quality than this, but this one is fine. It's a $40 fragrance. It's a citrus woody, emphasizing the woods a little bit more. There are 4 woody notes. There's citrus, there's a mandarin and bergamot in the top, so there's a citrus component. It is a very simple fragrance, but it's Mont Blanc, so the quality is there. It's going to perform at a pretty decent level. It's not going to disappoint you that way. But the best thing about this is the price. It's a solid fragrance for $40. Now, if you want something very different, go with this. This is Christian Dior's Higher. And it's different in a couple of ways. This is from 2001, so it's like almost 25 years old. It's an older fragrance. It's not going to smell old, though. When it comes to citrus, fresh fragrances, they don't really change that much. But it is, from a bygone era. And the key to this, though, is the pear note. Now, this is what I call a fruity aromatic citrus fragrance. And so, yes, the citrus, there's lemon in this. And then there's also peach. But it's the pear note. So peach, pear, and lemon. It's the pear note, though, that people notice. And it's a really nice pear note. Like pear has a really pleasant smell, actually. And so then you've got 4 aromatic notes. There are a couple spicy notes. I don't really pick up much of them. But yeah, it's a citrus aromatic. It's a bit different. Anything that smells like pear, it's a little bit cool. It's a little bit different. It's not something you're going to smell every day. Christian Dior quality. Performance is, it's okay. I know it's not great for the price, but it's okay. 5 hours probably in terms of longevity, some projection. But I just love that pear note. And finally, we have Azzaro Chrome United. This is a personal selection. It's a fairly inexpensive $50 fresh fragrance. And the reason I like it so much is I love, for the longest time, Silver Mountain Water was my signature scent because it introduced a really nice note combination of tea and musk. And together, those two notes, you can really pick them out of other fragrances, and it's got a soothing quality to it that I really like. And it has that here. So it's a citrus fragrance. There's a lot of bergamot in this, but it has the tea musk combo. It also has a lot of violet leaf, so there's an ozonic quality as well. But yeah, it's the tea musk combo that I really like with this. Average performance, but yeah, I really like this one. So probably if you like Silver Mountain Water, that element of it anyway, you'll enjoy this. So, but yeah, I really do believe that fresh fragrances, if you're in a situation and you can't afford to go wrong, you're not going to blow everybody away. They're not going to think you smell like the greatest oud guy in the world. But if it have to smell at least better than average, you want to go with a fresh fragrance. I think they never fail. Thanks for watching.